for the whole family. You know what I'm saying? But how about yourself though?
Right. How is she doing?
I mean, it's a day by day
Huh?
thing. It's day by day. The doctors are trying to do some. The doctors we have, they're really trying to help and really trying to make things as less stressful, and hopefully, most high God willing, they can fight. They can help us fight it as much as possible. We got a pretty good doctor, man. He's been really supporting us and really helping out. So that always feels good to see that you got somebody trying to take the extra step and go the extra mile to help us out. So yeah, all we can do is just take it day by day, pray on it, and hope for the best.
Mhm. Absolutely. Is she in a lot of pain?
Oh, not today, not today. Um, they're giving her some painkillers based on. I mean, that's just she takes them to where this because we have a lot of natural stuff here, so every now and then she may have to take the medicated stuff just to help with the pain if the natural stuff is not really working as well. So we try
Mhm.
to we try to go on and off with the pharmaceuticals, man, because we know the pharmaceuticals can be damaging. So, but the pain levels aren't that much of an issue
Right.
because the doc because part of it is our diet, man. Our diet has changed significantly. So, do a lot of juicing, a lot of fruits and vegetables. We're not 100% vegan. Well, she's more vegan than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then I'll still have me a turkey breast sandwich in there or something. You know what I mean? But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I'm consuming nothing but vegetables and because I was juicing and fasting. And I'm still doing it. So I haven't had any meat in a while. So I getting a lot of weight off my body. Going to go run every night before I go to bed. And just doing it day by day, doing the basics, trying to get as healthy as possible, so I can be around for these kids, and most high willing see my
Mhm.
grandbabies. Most high willing.
Right. Absolutely. Definitely. Want her to get better. If anything else.
Yeah, most definitely. That's something we all praying for, and thank you for your concern, because most definitely appreciate it.
You're welcome. I didn't want to ask last time because I didn't want to. Uh, it's not an easy thing to talk about, so I didn't want to really ask. But I was
It's
thinking
all,
about it.
well, you know what, sis? It's all good, and I appreciate your concern, man. It's just one of those unfortunate situations, but most definitely, I really do appreciate your concern, man, and thank you, man. It's more like I said, all I can say is most definitely appreciate it, and all I can do right now, I'm just remaining positive. She's positive, and try to make this just rock it out for as long as possible, man. Hopefully, we can get some healing going on. So,
Right.
you know what I mean. But thank you very much, man, and it's all good, sis. And once again, you deeply appreciate it. Words can
No
explain.
problem. That's what we supposed to do, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we brothers and sisters, so we're supposed to encourage each other and uplift each other when we're going through these hard times.
Right. It's good that you're up and up.
Yeah, man, it makes a big difference. And plus, the congregation I'm a member of, they've been really supportive. They've been really a big help. They've been really helping me out with the kids, and they have
Mhm.
really stepped it up. And they've been a wonder. They've been a miracle. So it's everybody who's involved. They've really played their part, and all they're doing is being to help the best way they can. And
That's good.
words, yeah, and when words can't even. I mean, I'm just humbled. I'm humbled, and I'm just humbled. I'm overwhelmed in a good way. So that's the good thing, you
Right.
know. Yeah,
Hey, that shows that when you make yourself available to other people, more than likely when you need them, they should pop up, right?
yeah, man, most definitely. I've been doing it for quite some time, and I'm just glad. And I'm just glad the Most High has put it on people's hearts to have love for others. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't have to, but As of late, man, my congregation family, my elders, my brothers, my teachers, and they have really supported me, supported my family. They really have been a big help, and my children are, and they've done the best to get my children's mind off of it because it's painful when you got your 12-year old, your 5-year old having to see their mother go through what they're going through. But a lot of my sisters in the congregation have really played that motherly role to help out the best way they can. Take them for a couple of days, get their mind off of it. So it's really
Mhm.
been a stress reliever. It's been a real stress reliever. It really has.
What's up?
I'm glad you got that kind of support. You know.
Yeah, man. Because I don't.
And you live in with your Muslim?
Yeah, my mother stays with me too. My mother, she lives with us. And
Say that again.
yeah, my mother stays with us too. My mom had moved in with us to help out. So that's also a plus. I'm in Sacramento.
Right.
Yeah.
What's up? Shit, you
Yeah, I couldn't hear the last part.
No, I'm in Sacramento. Well, technically I'm outside of Sacramento. I'm about 30 minutes outside of
Sacramento.
Sacramento. 30 minutes outside of Sac. That's where I was raised. I was raised in Sacramento, California. I'm about 30 minutes outside of Sacramento. Technically, yeah. Yes, 30 minutes.
Right. With the logo right in my face, I should even be asking.
Yeah, yeah, right
That's
here.
where you at, and that's California right there.
Yeah, right there.
shit, you say you be hitting the studio though, right?
Wow.
Yeah, man. I was in the last time I was in the studio was about 2 weeks ago, man. I did a couple of spoken words.
You
I
have
did
to
a
bring some
couple.
of them through, bro.
Was I said again?
You have to bring some of them through.
Yeah, man. You know what? I got some on email. My
Mm.
boy, man. He sent me everything. He did some editing, some mixing, playing with the voice levels on my when I did the spoken words. He sent them to me, man. And I ain't got a chance to really let a lot of people hear them. So what I'm gonna do, bro? What I'll do? I think I got your email. I'll send you something, man. Because I'll send you one of my spoken words so you can get a chance to hear something. It's just you already know, man, working and providing and making sure the family is decent. The job, especially, I'm working 50 hours a week, man. The job can take you away, man. It can take you away from so much. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
yeah, but I go to the studio. I do that at least. I try my best to at least do it once a month with the brother in my congregation. And normally I'll try to make sure I put some money in his pocket. But as of late, man, he was like, nah, because my name is BA. Everybody call me BA. And the other day, he was like, nah, BA, bro, you ever got to pay me, bro. Just come through, man. I enjoy doing music with you and working with you. He just said, brother, just come on through. It's good. I said, okay, man. If it's like that, then I can make it a point to come a little bit more often. You know what I'm saying? As much as possible.
Right. What's up? That's cool.
That's great. Was it
Yeah,
Eric? I know you
yeah. And
said
let
you
me.
do
I'll
the
tell you what.
spoken word thing.
Yeah, we got to most definitely get down on live call. But K, sister K, if you don't mind, post your email, and you too, Siri. Post your email, and I'll send you guys. I'll send it. I'll try to see if I can send it from my phone or my email to send it to you. I mean, I'll send you one of them so you can at least hear something. And I got a couple of acapellas, man, because I was rapping, man. I was doing that when I was
Right.
out in the streets, and it was alright. Then as I started to get back into the scriptures, and uh, I stopped doing music for a while because I didn't want to be the type of dude talking about all nigga this, nigga that, and I'm up in the congregation teaching the youngsters. You know what I'm saying? So I had to I had to stop for a minute and you know what I mean? Because I wanted, and I was like, if I'm gonna, and I said to myself, and I prayed, and I was like, if I'm gonna sit here and be a light to these teenagers and light to the youth, because I'm over in the youth ministry, man. If I'm gonna sit up here and do that, I need to at least present myself as righteous as possible on all levels, musically,
Hmm.
all that, spoken words. I was still like, oh, what's up with it? I mean, I still had that street mentality, man, but I had to grow out of it. I had to mature. Me being married and sitting up here acting like I'm 19 still, so I had to really. I had a lot of growing up to do over these last couple of years. I've done a lot of growing up, so. Uh, but now I've gotten to that point to where all of a sudden I'm starting to really get this gospel message. It's starting to really come to my mind. I'm starting to really act on it and really live it instead of just talk about it. I actually live it. So it's really made a big difference. It's impacting my writing skills. I write articles. I do all kind of stuff, man. So I try to keep myself as active as possible, as much as possible.
So that means that you are a Christian.
Well, I would say if you want to call me a Christian, I mean I'm not offended by it. I would say it's more so from more of a biblical Christian because one thing about it, I don't like really the Christian doctrine because the Christian doctrine is based on the Greco-Roman view, and it's not and this and I'm not saying I have anything against Greeks or Romans. I'm talking about the culture. I'm more so what you would call because Yeshua the Christ, he was a Nazarene. So I more so identify with being a Nazarene. Nazarene, that means the
Right.
branches, the original teachings. So I came up out of the Hebrew Israelites because that's what led me to being a Nazarene. You know what I'm saying? Because because the Nazarenes were Hebrews and they were also converts from other nations. So I identify with being a Nazarene Israelite because I want to get as much to the teachings, to the original teachings, as much as possible before the Council of Nicene and what's his name, Constantine. So they started to corrupt it. So I make it a point to do as much studying as possible to find out what's going on, what happened, how the corruption and the confusion start. And we as Christianity, I mean, Christianity as we know it has been a big detriment to our people. A lot of people tend to try to make it seem like it hasn't, but Christianity, man, the Christians was the main ones hanging us from trees and doing all kind of madness. So, but if people want to call me a Christian, I mean, I don't. I would more so say I'm a Nazarene. You know what I mean? I
No,
don't.
no. I was making an assumption. I was asking just from
Oh
what
no,
you were
that's all.
saying. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I mean,
If you're a Nazarene, you're
yeah,
a Nazarene.
yeah. And I mean, like I said, like some people when I'm talking to the layman or to the simple,
Nazarene.
you know what I'm saying? I say they say, "Oh, so you a Christian?" I'm like, "Yeah, just to get so they can understand where I'm coming from before I get into I'm a Nazarene or you know what I'm saying
Hmm.
because that other stuff can confuse people because they're not a lot of people don't know too much about that. So some people I just say, "Yeah, I got the Christian faith. I got the faith of Christ with the Messiah." But that's it. You know what I'm saying? And I try to keep it simple because some people is just like, okay, that other stuff I don't know what you're talking about. But
Right.
if it's Jesus Christ, if people can understand that I'm a student of the teachings of Jesus Christ, which he's commonly called, I'm fine with that too.
I know that. I know what you mean. Kind of. Well, I don't really know about religion at all, but I know with Nazareth. I heard about it more specifically
Yeah,
from listening to Kendrick Lamar, "Pimp to a Butterfly." So at least I learned something, right? I learned a
yeah, yeah,
little bit.
yeah. If you
I
ever
didn't know what it was.
Yeah, if you ever got into doing some research, just look up the Nazarenes and the Ebionites, and
Right.
those were considered the original uh, sect of whether you call it religion or lifestyle, but those were the original teachings that were as solid before the Romans came in and brought in what we know as Christianity. Those were the ones that the Romans were killing off and having issues because especially the Nazarenes because the Nazarenes they were a threat to the Roman Empire because the Nazarenes their love for each other and their love for their God was so solid that the Romans couldn't have that in their providence in Jerusalem. They couldn't have that. You know what I'm saying? It was a threat to them, and the Nazarenes were not going to sit back and just be like, okay, we're going to bow down to Caesar. And they're like, no, we rather die. So
Mm.
so that was what they stood on. That's what they believed. And then what's so heartbreaking is a lot of so-called Hebrews they would always make it seem like they know. Well, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, well that's a nationality. So Believe me, the Hebrews back then weren't going around saying they was Israelites. They knew they were Israelites. You know what I'm saying? And so I mean, what difference is it gonna make that you knowing that you Israel? Okay, you Israel. What's next? So,
Right.
so yeah, man, and I still deal with Israel, man, from a sense to wake them up and to get them out that crazy cultish way of thinking because a lot of Israel, you know what I'm saying? A lot of Israelite brothers, they do mean well, and I know because I've been in Israel for a long time. I mean, I'm 32. I've been in Israel over 10 years, so I know the doctrines, I know the teachings. Uh, and I tell the brothers all the time, man, like in order if you want you guys do more damage with your mouth, with your doctrine. You guys are not really upholding the truth like you claim you are. I mean, you do a lot of bashing and a lot of disrespect and a lot of arguing and fussing and yelling and screaming. More, you do that more than anything else. You do more damage because you make people you make like when you like they're dealing with the comedic. So when they're dealing with the other brothers and sisters of our or just of our people from different walks of life and how they try to force the Bible on people and how they try to take the book way out of context and make it seem like it's just for our people only. And everybody who is familiar with the scripture doesn't advocate racism and it doesn't advocate any type of hate. The Bible has is very clear on who the wicked is. The Bible doesn't set a skin color on the wicked. If you're wicked, anyone can be wicked. And then the one thing a lot of Hebrews what they would not admit or what they won't read, the Bible would tell you that Israel is the most wicked of all. Israel taught the nations how to be wicked. So, but they'll mess around and say Esau's the white man and he's the devil. But the Bible tells will tell you that Israel was the devil. Sit down, but they would have bashed Esau. But that's if Esau is the white man. You can't even historically prove that Esau was white. You can't even prove that. You know what I'm saying? So, and these guys are so based on skin color because their doctrine is based on skin color, and it doesn't make any sense. They're more of a stumbling block than anything else.
When you say uh it doesn't promote racism, do you think black people could be racist?
I would say now. Let me clarify racism because I know everybody has a different definition of racism. Racism is pretty from what I've heard because that's a question I heard before. Racism is based on the doctrine as far as you can control jobs, you can control your own economy because only white people they are Europeans or whatever you want to call them, they can pretty much control society, so they can be racist. And then a lot of people say that black people can't be racist. Well, then I would say that black people can be just as prejudiced and have just as much hate as whites can. They can. You know what I'm saying? And they may not have any authority in society to control jobs or control wealth, but our people could be just as wicked as anybody else. And I'm pretty sure that all of us personally uh, has dealt, especially our people. We have dealt with our people and who come from different walks of life, who establish themselves and not in the good way of conducting themselves. If that helps.
Do you think um, our current state in being wicked and inflicting abuse and torture and torment on each other, do you think that's a result of why people putting us in those positions to behave in those kind of ways?
I think it's the environment and the society and the culture that we've been accustomed to. And we got to remember, a lot of our people are programmed to act a certain way. And praise the Most High for pulling people out of it, and those who have sense, because a lot of our conditions are self inflicted. You know what I mean? I mean, we gotta remember that because we are our worst enemy. I mean, is there a shadow of brother? Is there a shadow out there that is hell bent on keeping us behind? Yes, I'd be lying to you if I said no. So I am aware of the powers out there. I just believe that when it comes to white supremacy, and then when it comes to black supremacy, I mean, there was no such thing I mean, you don't have black supremacy unless you have white supremacy. So my thing is that I'm for my people and I'm gonna do whatever I can to help them as much as I can possible. But only those who are willing and who want help. You know what I'm saying? But then we have some of our people who just don't give a damn and they just care about themselves and will hurt and do any type of backstabbing and snaking and just do whatever they can to get by.
Hold on one second, Famo. Did you just say that there's no white supremacy without black supremacy?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I've come to the conclusion because you can, I mean, white black supremacy, but a stem child of white supremacy. I mean, white. Come on, just think about it. You don't. I mean, if you go back and the ancients the ancients that was never a way of their thinking. So that white supremacy didn't come along until Europeans. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you never saw any black pictures of Christ in a sense to make you feel superior. I mean, the people in the ancients they didn't think, oh, I'm black and I'm better than you. That was not the way they thought. So that came from Europe.
Well, what is your definition of white supremacy and black supremacy?
um, my definition or how I see it, white supremacy is pretty much what we would know as the standard today, and they pretty much are privileged. They dominate. Black supremacy is just a stem child of it. It's the same thing. The difference is just a black face. But just because it's black supremacy doesn't mean I rock with it. I don't rock. I don't have a hate. I don't go around just having a hate for people. And I've been studying the Bible for quite some time, and the Bible teaches me to love all, have respect for all. So I'm not gonna sit here and just hate a person because they look different from me. I can't do that. That's not righteous. That's not righteous. It's not.
Who
Do you
taught you
think I
that
hate?
white supremacy has anything to do with hate?
Well, white supremacy does has a lot to do with hate because they are when the white supremacist doctrine is, as far as I know, is that they are the standard and everything else is beneath them.
What does that have to do with hate? If they think that they're the standard and everything else, everyone else is beneath them.
Yeah, that's the hate. When you're superior and everybody else is beneath you, that I mean, that's as hate as you going. That's as just as much as hate as it's gonna get.
So, how do you account for the multiple refined white supremacists nowadays that are, they're very friendly. You know what I'm saying? They don't call motherfuckers niggers or none of that shit. That's
Yeah, you
old
can.
hat,
Yeah,
right? Oh, wait a minute. That's old hat. Okay, it's more refined now. So how does one that's classified as black glean understanding from what I consider, me personally, an archaic concept of racism means hate?
okay, let me see if I can understand your question. You're asking me for those that hide their racism, how am I able to see the racism still? That's what you're asking me.
No, based on that old definition of white supremacy, that shit going back to goddamn slavery, talking about hey nigger get over here and all that kind of shit. When they've dropped that shit for the foremost. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, they
They're
gotta
more
disguise it. Yeah.
they're more refined. So if we have us speaking and saying these having this old mindset about racism equaling hate. So what's that? Where does that leave the babies, where they see mostly people who look like them banging on their ass and so-called hating on them, but when they see a white person, they're friendly and helpful and shit. How is that constructed for us?
Now this is the thing, and that's what we have to be. Now, I say I understand your question. Now, this is how I would look at that. If our kids are looking at us killing each other and going hard on each other, but they see the opposite, the pale imitation, doing the exact opposite, being friendly and looking out for us. Of course, our kids are going to be more accustomed to thinking that whites are helping them. But that's where it's on us as the people to stop fighting each other and train our kids, let them know not everybody that appears to be your friend is your friend. That's how I would answer that question, if that helps.
Well, it does. I appreciate your response. However, what I was specifically talking about is we tend to continue to say, and I suspect we got this from white people, just like we got most every other thing, that racism equals hate. Hate meaning extreme dislike. They hate you because you're color. They hate you because you're kind, right? I'm
Yeah,
saying that a lot of us say that the children are the future. They understand what we say, not what the fuck we meant to say, right? So
yeah,
when we continue to attach hate with racism, they miss that motherfucking white bitch with the cookies and shit, okay? Who's smiling.
yeah.
They miss the motherfucker who they call their friends, who are white, who have been trained in the ways of white domination as well. I spoke to multiple white people, and most of the white people I've spoken to, from all different walks and shit. Some of them will tell me, yes, I'm a racist, but they just as friendly and helpful and all that shit.
Mm.
So that's us on this bullshit. We continue to
Yep,
perpetuate that shit. That's old hat.
yep. I can agree with that. Most definitely, I can agree with that. We stir up the pot. I can most definitely agree. A lot of us tend to still think just because uh like there's some brothers I met not too long ago and they had an issue with somebody, it's a white dude, and he told them right. But since they were so used to blaming the other person, I mean, or just so used to white folks hating on them, whatever you want to call it, they couldn't even accept the fact that the dude was really telling them right, and they just looked at it as if he was just being racist as hell because he corrected them. Most definitely, I can most definitely understand that point. But see, that's where it has to come back on us. We have, like I was saying earlier, a lot of our wounds are self-inflicted. So as a people, we have to learn how to we have to understand that at times everybody's just not out to get us. Every may come to that at times to where it seems like everybody is out to get us. But when you've been terrorized and when you've been indoctrinated and when you've been treated and called and part of this big old experiment called America for so damn long, and you've got nothing but the short end of the stick, it gets to a point to where you're gonna think like that all the time because you've been terrorized for so damn long, or you've been ostracized for so damn long. So a lot of our issues are deeply psychological.
Okay, so we've been live for about, let me see.
Oh, we live? I didn't know we was live.
Yeah, we live, man.
Yeah.
Just chopping it up, It's all good. It's the first salon barbershop talk. As much
Right.
honesty as we could bear. You know what I'm talking about? Just just had to make sure the shit was running properly and shit. And as it said, let me see. So we've been live for about a half hour.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So we know that it works now. Cause I what we need now though is someone to call in, right? So that we could further make sure that the shit is working properly. Cause like I said, we are live right now. People are hearing us and shit, but ain't nobody watching, which is all
Right.
good.
It's
We
all
we
good.
we we'll push it. You know what I'm saying? Um,
What's your
but
shit
if
again?
somebody, what you say, Kai?
I was just singing the song Push It to the Limit.
Yeah, so we can get somebody to call in and shit. That'll be fantastic.
That's what we're waiting on.
The number in the pen is on the screen.
But
If y'all can see the screen,
Type it in
That's
the back. I
Mm-hmm.
can copy and paste it real quick. Yeah, type that real quick because I'm on my phone. I can't even see it. I'm like on another screen.
let me see.
Oh, we can't do no headphones.
Oh, Ema, is that her name?
No, Amani.
Amani says it's live, so she'll pass. She's scared to come online.
Uh-oh.
Uh, that's interesting.
Most definitely.
So headphones is a no-no.
No headphones. Not if you calling in. If you on the panel, have
You
at it.
good?
No speakerphones, no headphones.
All right. Too much feedback.
Hmm.
What this person is saying right now. Ah, let me see.
But yeah, let's start this conversation off. Anyone got somewhere to start?
I mean, being that it's supposed to be a balance, we ain't really got it right now. You know,
Hmm.
we
Right.
ain't got that. So
I
we
just
might
I
need to
just sent
try
I just
again.
sent the number into a one bath. I'm on Facebook trying to share it.
Well, I'm about to share right now. See if someone comes on from Black Google and see what they
Right.
say. See if
Gotta get
someone
this
comes in.
get it out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You should
I done
on this
shared it in a
Sunday
couple of
night.
places.
give me that picture though, that barbershop that salon barbershop talk with the number and pin on there. That way I can just share that whole meme.
Okay, let me see. Do it like this to the Gmail. I'm sending this to you right now, famo.
So
Where I'm sending it to?
it don't matter if you can put it in the back chat and I can still download it or you can send it to the email.
Oh shit, I'll put it in the back chat. Let's see.
Yep.
Wow.
Picture. Oh, that ain't it. Let me see. So, which one is it? Damn, they ain't got the number on it, do it?
Nah, but I can still post it up under the I can still post it in the description though.
Hey, what's been going on in the so-called? I've been out of kind of lightweight in and out of action, but what's been going on with the? Isn't there supposed to be like a debate coming up between what's that dude's name? SETI and what's the that group?
Armor Rock Squad.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they supposed him and that youngster, that young cat, that young brother. They supposed to be
Young
going back
Twelve.
and forth. There you go. There you go. Pharaoh, your young Pharaoh. They supposed to be going back and forth over the Metaneta or the language of the Egyptians, something like that. Is that still going down? Is that I heard that was going to be canceled, but is that still going down?
Yo, Guess as good as mine, famo.
I don't even see the significance of. I guess the metanets they're supposed to be debating on who interpreted it or who corrupted it or whatever it may be, but um, I don't see the significance, and I don't think what I don't. I mean, okay, let's just say they debate it, whatever it may be. What's going to be so different? What's the point of debating? Is that supposed to be helping somebody out, helping us out, or help? I mean, how? What's the point? Does anybody have any ideas? What's the end game?
Get some
I
money.
I know more than these niggas.
Done.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. That's what it looked like. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Um,
No.
Really though. That's yep. That's about it.
yeah, it's just about it. Yeah, this is pretty much for show and glamour and chest respect, I guess.
Yep.
We got the caller from 5081 in. Who's this? 5081. Minneapolis.
Hello?
Peace.
Hello?
Peace.
Hi.
What's good? What's good?
Pete. How you doing? I just got in. What are we talking about here?
Who's calling? What's your name?
This is Angel. Angel Flying Horse People.
Peace. Peace. What's good, famo? Welcome. Welcome.
Hey.
We're just chopping it up right now, but we'll get into some topics and stuff. This is pretty much where we talk about our relationships as black males and black females. As much honesty
Okay.
as we can bear. You know,
Mhm.
so we get into those kind of things. Do you have any observations about our relationships to one another that you might want to talk about?
Uh, our relationships to one another. Sometimes I would say they're in shambles. To be honest.
Hmm.
Black men and women are not communicating with each other the way that they should be and keeping the family strong. I mean, some people are, but some people are not.
Hmm. Why do you
Yeah,
think
it's,
that
it's like we
is?
don't know how to communicate.
Huh?
No, it's like we don't know how to communicate. Yeah, it's like we've lost the communication, basic, simple communication. It's something that we have lost.
Right. Yeah, the communication is important. Just a second, hold on. Yeah. Who else is in this call? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can hear you.
Yes.
What is it? There's three of us in here?
No,
No, good.
you have a Resh, you have Despised, KK, and myself. I'm off code.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering.
So we have two
No.
So, yeah.
two
Huh?
females and three males currently.
Okay. And what's your perspective on the black male and female relationship?
Somebody want to go first, or should I?
go ahead, off code, and I'll fall back after you. Go ahead, bro.
Okay. Uh, from my personal perspective, which I could be inaccurate about, I can see that shit off rip. Uh, the words that we use cause conflict amongst us. Example: black men, black women. You know what I'm saying? These specifically, I'm talking about the terms men and women. These things come with pre-connotations. Would you agree?
Right?
Say it again.
I said right?
So we hold each other up to these titles based upon the things that we've learned from white people. What a man does, what he doesn't do, what a woman does, what a woman doesn't do. And this causes conflict amongst us. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, it causes conflicts amongst us in what way?
Well, in a way, I've been trained to look at you through the lenses or through the eyes of a white man. Subconsciously, I've been
Okay.
taught to expect you to behave like a white woman, and you, whether one is conscious of it or not, have been trained to look at me through the lenses of a white woman, and you expect me to
Oh,
behave. Oh, go ahead.
I get what you're saying. How people say uh the black woman be yelling too much and argumentative and that type of thing. That's what you mean, right?
Well, that's a piece of it.
That's what you,
It's definitely a
okay.
piece of it.
Right. Right.
So I think
Well, I don't know.
those are some things that we don't really talk about, and when we do talk about it, we end up back in the same vicious cycle of talking shit
What's the
because of the
proper way?
language.
What's the proper way that we should be viewing each other instead of viewing each other through a white man or woman's eyes? What's the proper way that we as black people should be viewing one another?
Well, I can't definitively say how we should be looking at each other, right? Because I don't have the answers.
Hmm.
I only have things that we could think about, because I'm no one's leader, you know. Um, However, what I will say is I suspect it begins with our understanding and our relationship to words, because I mean you would agree words are very important, right?
Right.
They
Definitely.
they can make you mad, they can make you happy, they can make you sad, they can make you want to kill someone, right?
Right. Right. Right.
So us playing games with these words unknowingly, is an issue, and we don't talk about it from that perspective. And so we end up in this back and forth circular conversation where, well, let me give you another example. Have you ever been around a situation, or maybe you've done it yourself or someone's done it to you, where you're looking at an adult, someone who is over 18, and someone tells them, "You ain't no real man," or "You ain't no real woman." You ever heard that?
Right.
Now the
Hold on
question,
one second. Hold on.
sure.
Hold on a second. What? Put it in your hand and do it, because I'm on the phone and it's on it. Don't disturb me again, please. You got everything you need? All right. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What were we just saying? These kids interrupted me. What were we saying?
Oh, I was just talking about the importance of words and understanding those words, because words are very important. They determine whether there's going to be clarity or conflict in a conversation, right?
Right. Oh, I remember what you said. You said when somebody be 18 that someone look at them and tell them you ain't no grown man or you ain't no grown woman, right?
Well, let's go further than that. Someone who's over 18, maybe they're 30, maybe they're 40, and someone will say, "You're not a real man," or "You're not a real woman." Heard this
Yeah,
before?
that could be real hurtful. People shouldn't say them those type of things for one another.
Hmm. See, the question becomes for me, what exactly are they saying? But see, we don't, generally speaking, we don't take it that far. What is being said? Is this significant or is it not? I suspect it is
It's
significant.
significant. It's indicating that apparently you're not good enough
Hmm.
to be classified as a real man or a real woman.
Or maybe you're not
Well,
following code. Maybe you're not
Maybe
following
not what?
maybe you're not following code. The code of
Mm-hmm.
conduct that's prescribed in this society on what a man is, what he is not, what a woman is, what she is or is not,
Okay.
and it seems like it always goes back to the standard, pretty much.
which is white.
Exactly.
Right. You know, I'm gonna just go off subject a little bit, but the other day I seen a post that said something to the effect of, well, a girl is ready to have a baby by the time she's 12 or 13 and have a family. And so my response to that was, well, is a 12 or 13-year-old boy ready to have a family? And uh, the responses I got back were, yes, actually they are, but not in our society. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Do you
nah,
know what
society. I know what you're saying.
huh?
Absolutely, I know what you're saying. Absolutely, that is absurd.
Right.
Well, well,
I mean, do you think a 12-year-old boy is capable of going out working and supporting a family?
Hell no. Hell no.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like, just because a female child could possibly have a baby over 13, that don't mean she should. And a 12-year-old boy will not. In this society, can't take care of no kids. He can't go to work. 12-year-old can't even get a job. So,
Hey,
Yeah, but
you know,
also you play that clip,
which one?
the one when they were talking about the young fella that was 14, 15. They didn't know how old he was.
Oh, okay. I'll have to find that. Y'all, you guys continue the
where are they?
conversation.
Where is he from that he don't know how old he was?
Well, while I'm gonna let the brother look for the clip, so you will have a full context of the whole full discussion and
wow.
what's
Okay.
going on in the scene. So I'm gonna let him look for it. But
What?
it kind of goes on what you were saying was as far as the question as far as the post with uh a young 12-year-old, right?
Well, I think they said 12 or 13 or something to that effect.
Well, in our
But
society, I don't
what's
see
so
that.
crazy? You got a lot of adults who are not ready to have kids.
I know that's right.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to saying that kids are capable or they should be capable of taking care of a family, we know for a fact that's no that to be a parent, and I'm a parent. I have two daughters. Uh, you have to get to a mature. Your maturity level has to be at a certain level to be able to provide, be willing to provide, and to take care of another human being. So
Right.
I don't want to say there should be an age limit. I would say a person should be able to have kids and really to be willing to take care of them. And when I would say as far as the age, when a man and woman get together, well, I'll just say as far as my situation. Uh, Me and my old lady, we got two children. We were married, both working, providing, and I mean we talked about having kids, but we didn't just like okay, we're gonna sit here and wait at this time at this on this day, and no, we didn't do it like that. It just happened. So and
Right. It happens.
and we exactly, you know what I'm saying. But we were financially stable to do it. So um, yeah, you just have to get to a point to where you're mature, where your mind is ready. Because I know a lot of brothers out where I'm at in California, and they have children. I mean, I was raised in Sacramento, so there's a lot of brothers who I went to school with. I'm 32, with the same age, some a little older, and these dudes got kids in the streets and not even taking care of them. But and they had them young. These guys was 14, 15, 16 years old when they had their kids, and they still
Wow.
riding around the street. Yeah, and they still riding around the streets, knocking up females or messing with younger females, acting like they're 15, 16, 17 at the age of 32, 33, 34, 35,
That's
36.
sad.
You know what I
Yeah, that's
mean?
a problem, and that's a big problem in our community right
Yeah,
there.
most definitely. Because uh, it's like it's a hen house.
Hmm.
It's a hen house. There's no order. And then there may be some people out there saying, "Well, what's order?" I mean, there's just certain things that, as men and as women, that we should. There's a certain way to conduct ourselves, and and to go around just to make babies for the hell of it, and to make babies for the hell of it, and to keep making babies for the hell of it. That's not no. That's not cool. One of my older brothers, my oldest brother. He has what, 11 children? 11. It takes care of none of them. He's at the
Wow.
Yeah. He's 30. Let's see. I'm 32. He's 37, 37, 38. And last time I heard, he's still going around making babies. But because
What's his problem? I mean, why isn't he settling down and at least trying?
his maturity level, his maturity level's not there. I've tried talking to him. My dad has tried talking to him. Uh, Multiple people have tried talking to him, but he out in the streets selling drugs. Ain't never had a job.
Oh
You know what I'm
man.
saying? In and out of jail, and he's just I mean, that's my brother. I love him, but I don't like how he is. But his maturity level is just like, wow, like, bro, you still acting like you 15 years old. He's
Mm.
never had a chance to fully develop. He sees something nice. He see a nice little piece of female or whatever, and then he's on it.
Mm.
Does 12 kids later?
You see, the thing for me
Wow.
though is, this conversation, it's going down the same road. How I will agree on what you're saying about, what you say,
Yes, my brother. Yeah,
your brother, who is allowing
yeah,
him
one of my,
sexual access?
the
Who's
women.
doing this? Okay, and who has control over who is born and who is not born?
Mm.
But we don't want to talk about that.
Both
See,
parties do. They both do.
Yeah,
No,
both
no. Both
parties.
men and women are in control and responsible for if they lay down and have a baby. Now we can't
That is
say
true. That is true.
that
That
is
is true.
just
That
on the
is true.
woman.
well, let's not. We're not talking about that. We're not doing that. See, this is the circular conversation we go into right here. We can have a constructive conversation without going back to the shit that doesn't work. This is not about blaming or anything. Now, specifically, I said who controls whether a life is going to be had or not had. You cannot say that it's equal in that. Okay, let's take an example. She gets pregnant, and and she doesn't want the baby, but he wants the baby. What do you think is
Mm.
going to happen? And let's flip it around. She gets pregnant. He does want he she wants the baby, and he doesn't want the baby. What's going to
Yeah,
happen? We
it's going to be
can't
a
sit up
struggle.
here. We can't. Ain't gonna be no struggle because females in this society are given full control over their bodies. Okay, ain't gonna be no struggle. Now, are there some who will kick it with other males and shit? Absolutely. You know, absolutely. Say, hey, we fucked, and I want to know if you want to have the child. Does that happen? I suspect it does. However, at the end of the day, the buck stops with her. But we don't talk like that.
Well, I mean that's true. You're right. You're right in that sense. But as far as the overall responsibility, man, when a man and a woman both lay down, they both made that choice. Was they gonna be protected or was they not? So I don't think it could really be on one person. You
Well,
know.
it's definitely it's not about talking about it being on one person. I'm really bringing the balance now, okay? Because if you want to be perfectly honest about this thing, everything starts with the female, okay?
But if a man
Everything.
don't wait a minute though, if a man don't want to have a baby, he have a responsibility to his own self because he doesn't want a baby. He needs to be protecting himself. If a man ever feels that he does not want a baby, he has that option and that choice
And
to
I'm
use
and I'm not
protection.
negating that, and I'm not negating that. But guess what? Condoms are for males. They're not for your pussy. Okay.
Well, they make
Okay.
female condoms too.
Okay. Let's be honest here. Okay. Now I would put everything, the little shit that I got, on a lot of situations that we hear. If we be honest, uh, more times than not, nothing is in her body. Nothing. Nothing at all. It's his
Most likely,
condom. It's his motherfucking condom
right?
to protect himself. Now, see, let's think about it like this. Let's say you got a house, right? What's your name again,
Hmm.
Famo? My apologies. What's your name again?
Who, me?
Yes,
Who's Angel?
Angel. Okay. So let's say Angel throws a house party, right? That's your house, right? You got motherfuckers in that motherfucker,
Mm,
right?
mm-hmm.
And they leave your shit fucked up, right? Everything tore
Right.
up. You know what I'm saying? Uh, who do you think people will blame if your shit fucked
Me
up?
for having the damn party. It's my own damn fault for letting all them people come in and have a party. I mean, I wouldn't. I wouldn't blame the other people. It'd be my responsibility because I let them motherfuckers in here to have a party.
Right. Now let's check it out. Let's flip it on his head then. Are males not coming into females? That's your
Right.
house. Okay?
Right.
But see,
Mhm.
we could use it for the house, right? That ain't as important as the body, right?
Mm.
Something to consider.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, that is something to consider. It is, and you're right, off code. We don't look at it from that perspective. It's not common to look at it from that perspective, because well, pretty much as you can see, it tends to always goes back and forth. And oh, he did it, she did it, he did it. Your fault, my fault, your fault. So I can most definitely understand the point you brought out, though.
Yeah.
You know, I suspect we do not comprehend our connection to white people. Now here's my theory, which could be inaccurate again. Now we do know that the people who we come from were enslaved, right? We can agree on this, right?
Yeah, we can.
Well, I don't know where all the people here weren't coming from slavery, right? There were already black people here in America. We all didn't come from slavery,
I
right?
have I have no clue of that. All I know is that from what I heard from white people's literature, right? And that's pretty much what we all go off to, right?
But we
And
can't
Yeah,
go off of everything what they say.
well,
How
what
we
do we
gonna
go off
believe their the wicked beast and they lies? How do we know?
possibly the same way we do everything else, you know? Maybe we can just pick and choose when we want to listen to the wicked demon or whatever you just called them, right? Maybe
Right?
we
We
could do
shouldn't
that.
pick. We shouldn't pick and choose. But I don't believe that that all the black people that's in this country came from a boat on slavery. I don't believe. I used to believe that, but I don't believe that no more.
Okay. That's duly noted.
Hmm.
Now let's take yourself then. Let's speak specifically, right? Uh do you know if your family was enslaved?
Do I know what?
Do you know if your family personally was enslaved?
That I don't know.
Well, I know
There's
that
no
mine
record of it.
was. I know that mine was on both
You
sides.
got you got records of it.
Census.
You found the information.
Yes. Yes.
So
yeah, I've
how did
done
you
it.
do that? Because I was interested in that, and I have no idea where to begin.
Well, first off, I think your first step would be to talk to the oldest person in your family and hopefully they're cogent enough to give you bits and pieces of information. You know, you have to know
My
like
mom is
where.
the oldest person in this family, and she does not want to have that conversation. I asked her about it. She just basically disregarded it. She does not want to talk about that. Why? I don't know.
Well, I suspect there's ways around that, but you would have to know names too. Names and places will be your very best friend. Okay, like
Right.
where did your grandmother or your great grandmother come from? Someplace down south,
Right.
I suspect. But
Now, my
where
grandma's from Denver, Colorado. Ain't nobody in my family from down south.
your great grandmother wasn't
Not
from
that I
down
know
south
of.
either?
I don't think so. I think my great grandmother was from Denver, Colorado, also. But I'm gonna sure find out. I sure want to know that.
Mm.
Okay, so we digress though. Let me get back to this, right?
Right, right.
I'll just go to myself then. I know that my family comes from down south. Hell, I mean, you can even look at your last name. You know what I'm saying? That's an indicator
Oh,
of
no, no,
something.
because see, you can't always look at that. My last name is from my grandma married some dude she didn't have kids with and then just kept the name. So this my last name is no blood relation to me, which is extremely odd, but it is what it is, you know?
Hmm.
Mm.
What about someone
Yeah.
else though? You don't have anyone else that has your maiden names in the family?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I gotta find it. It's either Cole or Sutton.
That
It's either
sounds.
Cole or Sutton. I don't know.
So
One of them.
suffice it to say, um, we know that at one point in history within this country, right, that
Right.
so-called black people were not even considered humans, let alone a man or woman, right?
Right.
So where the fuck did we get the model from on what a man is, what he does, what he doesn't do, what a woman is, what she does and what she doesn't do? Where did we get that from?
Mm. Right. From them, of course.
Right. So it all goes back to them, but we don't talk like that. We don't have those kind of conversations. We refuse to understand that these people indirectly are our surrogate parents, even today. The fact that you and I are speaking English right now says loads about us.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. That is unfortunate. Yeah.
And so, these are things to consider. We can go back to Sojourner Truth, to her poem, to all those white women, Ain't I a Woman?
Mm.
To the goddamn 60s with what I call BAMs. They fancied themselves black men walking around with signs talking about Ain't I a Man? Either
Mm.
you, either
Wow.
you, either you are or you are not. Who you asking,
Mm. Right.
right?
Mm.
And I think those still they ripple and reverberate in our minds today. You know what I'm saying? These titles of man and
In
woman.
African culture, what how do they classify a person if you are a man or a woman or not? In African culture, how do they classify that then? Because we're speaking on how it was classified here from white people, blah blah blah. So in African culture, how do you do that?
Well, there's no
How is
such
that done?
thing. There's no such thing as African culture. You have many different groups on the
Right.
continent of Africa, and however, and by the way, here specifically, we don't go all over the planet. We stick here because this is what we know, and we don't even know a lot about it. Our reality right here. Okay, let alone
Yeah, that's
there.
true.
You feel me? Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll look at them. We'll look at some of those groups and be like, "Oh hell no, I've had this conversation with multiple people who say I'm an African, and then I just ask them something that I researched and shit, and that I've heard from people from the continent, and they say, "Hell no, I wouldn't do that." But what you mean? I thought you was African. This group does that. That's a part of African culture, right? See, now we want to get specific. No, no, no. I mean this group. That they don't do that. Oh, I thought you just said you was an African though. You sound like a white person.
Right. Yeah, it's a tribe. It's a tribe. Yep. Everybody has a tribe.
Right.
Um,
And so, um, I think those things we need to understand our relationship to white people here because it's obvious we have tons of evidence that suggests we don't. But that's it seems like it's almost like that's an afterthought. Like fuck that, man. I don't want to talk about that. Okay, I'll give you another one, Angel. Right?
mhm.
Uh, you're black, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
Now,
black and Native American.
black and Native American. Okay. Um,
Yep.
are you classified as black here?
Yes, I'm classified as black, but if I get my BIA number, my native auntie told me that the government only classifies you as Indian, but I mean, fuck what the government talking about. I'll never denounce my blackness or my Native American either. So, you know.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, here's what I was getting to about this. Let me show you how we don't even have baby sense, right? How white people have rendered us to goddamn imbeciles, right? When we were growing up and we watched little shit, we learned our colors and shit, right? This is red, this
Mhm.
is white, this is black, green, etc., right?
Mhm.
At that point, we wasn't even considering about we black, right? But when we get older, at some point, it's put into our mind that nigga, you too are black, right? You,
Right.
you black. So now we walk around and saying I'm black, and then wearing a black outfit or some black gear. Now either that means something or it doesn't. Now there was a suspected racist named George Orwell, and I think it was 1941, who wrote a book called 1984, right? And he came
Mhm.
up with a term called doublethink. Doublethink, as he explained in the fictional book, is when an individual person or people hold two contradictory ideas at the same time, yet believe both of them to be true.
Mm.
I
Okay.
got on black shoes and I'm black. Now either you crazy as fuck or something up, something up. Now I'm not saying that to say that we need to call ourselves something else, because I don't have that answer. That's what we identify with. But I'm just saying, it's not our fucking color. It's our position within this society.
Yep. You're right about that.
Right. I'll stop there. Anybody else want to chime in? Let's not all speak at
Dang, dead
once.
silence.
Everybody talking over each other and shit. I can't hear you. God damn it.
Nah, I'm enjoying the conversation. Just
Yeah, it's some healthy dialogue. Yeah, some healthy dialogue right there, man. I was just sitting up there just taking some mental notes, man. You brought out some good points off, Cole. You know what I mean? Like always, man, you bring out some things to sit back and really think about. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things that we don't observe and think about. We're so based on, we're so indoctrinated to think a certain way that we don't realize where we're getting these thoughts and this way of thinking from. A lot of us don't think outside the box like that. So, yeah, man, that's some powerful stuff to sit back and really ponder on, and really, that's some good food for thought, bro. Really is.
Appreciate it. Hope that it's constructive.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, totally. It is constructive, bro. It's something for me to sit back and like I tell everybody, I don't profess to know everything. I'm still a student, so but yeah, buddy, that's powerful. That was some powerful information, especially you brought up Orwell in 1984, because I read that book years ago. So
I've heard of that guy, but I never read that book. I heard of
yeah,
that man.
yeah, it was a fictional book about what was going to happen in the futurist society where pretty much society is all lost damn near, and the government pretty much is the new world order and all that kind of stuff. You know, the conspiracy theorists and all that. But
Mm.
yeah, man, and like right now, man, I was even though I'm pretty sure we've maybe talked about it, you guys, but everybody's been talking about Donald Trump lately. But um, I'm not a voter. I didn't go vote. I just didn't because I'm not. I don't think a person. I don't think poor people have a say so in a capitalist society, because capitalism has been, especially for our people, capitalism has been our downfall. We have always suffered from capitalism. So um, poor people don't have a choice. They don't have a voice in capitalism. It just doesn't work. But and I think Donald Trump was already part of the plan to go into office. And right now, a lot of people are happy that he's in there because they really truly feel that he's going to come in and he's going to fix everything, and everything's going to go back to how it used to be. Let's make America great again. But as far as I'm concerned, America was never great. Never was
I
to
know
begin with.
that's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Supposedly, white liberals are petitioning now for the electoral college to vote Hillary in on the electoral votes or some stupidness. I don't know.
Yeah, I had heard they got like over 300,000 signatures and all that, but it's not going to happen because the damage is done. It's already said and done. Uh, and people really think that voting is going to change. It's the whole American system. It has to be. It can't be reformed. It can't be changed. It has to be eradicated. It has to die. You have to kill it. That's the only way you're going to change things.
I think Hillary is more dangerous than Trump because
Oh,
Hillary deludes black people into thinking that they're accepted through feminism and homosexuality, and they don't see the problems within those sections. So Trump's racism is more in your face, whereas Hillary's a racist too, but you don't see it quite as obviously.
but to be honest, sis, neither of them are good. I mean,
Trump,
it's poison. No, I mean,
what?
I think, and then neither of them are any good, man. Even though Trump is more in your face, it's
No, so
both.
what I mean is, I think that with Trump, it'll help wake certain black folks up, whereas with
Yeah,
Hillary, they'll kind of be lulled back and say, oh, we have equality and blah blah, whatever.
it's all
They
poison.
both ain't no good. They both
Yeah,
terrible.
it's like I was explaining to these youngsters, to the brothers who I work with. I was telling them, I was like, look, you got poison. You got one version which is just good old fashioned raw, nasty, stinky poison. Then you got the other teaspoon, the sugar and spice and everything nice, but it's still poison. So, and that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to the political economy of this country, it's always been based on a few and those who control the concentration of wealth. It's not ever about giving other people an opportunity in the sense to where they have a actual fair shot. It's the mighty and the mighty only. You may have some people in the economy that have an opportunity, but nobody gets the opportunity because you have a few people that control the means of production, like I brought up in the last video we did. And when you have gotten complacent and you put the means of production in the hands of politicians, you're going to get what you're going to always get: injustice, murders, social murder, and all the things all across the board. It's because the people don't own anything, they don't control anything, and they rely on their government officials to do everything for them. So, and when you live in a system like that, you're never going to get justice. You never will. You'll just die broke. You'll die a slave, and then eventually it goes down to your children, and they just live subservient. And that's why it's very important that we train our children, because right now the direction the country is going in, since we're talking about, because we all live in America, the direction it's going, it's not good. It, it's going to get much worse and much worse and much worse and much worse.
Well,
So
white Republicans supposedly voted in Trump because they were hoping that they'd get Pence, the VP, because Trump might be indicted on charges of um, sexual abuse. So they're hoping that they can get Mike Pence in, who more fits their perspective or whatever.
yeah, and that guy Pence. Yeah, like I said, man, these dudes, man, these politicians, man, they're all sold out. They're not. They have no means to change anything. They like how it is. They get their money, they make their profit, and they go about their business. So at the end of the day, it's best as a people, rather you be black, white, whatever. When it comes to poor people need to learn how to just get to a point to where they need to learn how to rely on themselves. Because when you rely on somebody else, you're gonna always end up with the same results: rigged elections and everything else that comes with it. It is what it is, and it's our fault because we've allowed the shit to happen. Excuse my language, but we just can't blame the politicians. You just can't blame them. Yeah, they wicked as hell, but the people as a whole, they have allowed some of it to go down. We've gotten too complacent, and that's why America
Well,
is suffering the
black
way it
folks
is.
bought into that lie of integration. That's that's where that happened with civil rights, um, and even poor whites, they bought into their own lie of white supremacy in hopes that they get the prestige of white supremacy. So
Yeah, and one thing about that good old fashioned white privilege, it's not as potent as it used to be, even though it's out there still in certain aspects of it. But if you're rich, you're rich. And you're poor, you're poor. That's just as simple as it gets. It's not about skin color as they try to make us think it is. It's all about rich people and poor people. And if you're rich, you're in. If you're poor, good luck. That's simple.
no, but I mean, there's always that for white people, regardless of what social class they're in, there's always that hope, and that's why I don't really when I noticed that you often use the very blanketed term of poor people, but poor whites, if the minute you hold that little carrot of white supremacy in front of them, that the possibility of achieving that level of white dominance, whatever whatever uh, pact they made with you, that's out the window.
I didn't say that it wasn't. I said white privilege is not as potent as it used to be, but if there is, but to a certain extent, it's still there. So, but if they got the chance, there's a guy I work with. He's admitted it. He says like he got promoted to supervisor of my job within less than a few months after starting there, and he told me himself it's because I'm white. That's why they gave it to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, so believe I'm so what my thing is that I don't deny the fact that white privilege is not there. It's there. There's some of it to where it's to a point to where now it's not as potent as it used to be. But if there's somebody that who has the chance to take that opportunity when it calls, of course they're gonna take it. I'll be a fool to sit back and say it's not there. But at the end of the day, as a all overall, you know what I'm saying? It's rich people and poor people. You know what I'm saying? That's as far as it goes. But there are some people who have benefits. It's there, but at the end of the day, it's still rich because there's people, and I'm where I'm at in California. There's white folks that's just suffering just as much as blacks out here, and I see it every day. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I live one of the. I mean, you in the Bay Area, Zahara, you know, California is perhaps one of the most diverse states in the country. One of the
Mhm.
most. So there's various states with various people in it, but California is very diverse.
Yeah,
So
but
you know what I'm
because
saying?
yeah, it is a very diverse. But
So I
because
mean,
hmm?
no, I'm the one I was going to say is that, you know what I mean? So out here in my neck of the woods, you know what I'm saying? I see myself being a help to poor whites and the poor Mexicans and everybody else. So my thing is that and there's black people struggling too. We struggle everywhere we go. But out here where I'm at, believe me, ain't that many people getting no privileges. They suffer. Lights is getting turned off. And you know what I'm saying? And really, and they're looking like where I'm finna get my next meal at, how I'm finna get my lights turned back on.
I agree.
Was that? That's you, Luton?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, what's going on, man? How you been, man? It's been a minute.
Chilling. I can't, I can't really deal with the segregation of minds back here. So I come every once in a while now. But I definitely agree with you. Not in this point in life in 2016, it's not only black people struggling anymore. It's not only Mexicans struggling anymore. It's a more diverse group of poor people which sticks together. So I feel like we should be embracing them as well.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. That's what we teach at the Nazarene Messianic Party. We teach that this struggle is only going to be, is only way we're going to come out this struggle if people unite. This black and white thing and purple, green, and yellow, it's not going to work because it's divide and conquer. And when you divide and conquer people, you control them. And the people who have the power, they control everything and they keep it that way. So the only way that we're going to come out of this is we unite. Now, do we have love for our people? Yes, I got love for my people. But I'm not going to sit here and politic or argue with them if they're going to close themselves off from society and not help with the struggle because everybody is struggling nowadays. Like you just said,
Um,
bro, we're in
yeah,
2016.
um, I just that I'm not down with that at all.
That's
Um,
personal opinion.
What?
That's your personal opinion. I don't look down on that. You know,
I don't look
everybody.
down upon it either. I don't.
Because you making deals with them other interest groups. It's I think it's self defeating. Those people, the minute that they get the opportunity, they'll stab you in the back for that possibility, that dream.
So
And
it's not the same as the people.
as far as you, Luton, you think that our minds are segregated over here. Well, I think you're delusional. So it's a great thing that you haven't been in the chat very often.
Well, hold on.
I'll say,
I'm,
yeah, I don't.
You're the one that thinks that black people should be jumping around like gazelles when cops are shooting at them. So yeah, you can stay out of the chat. That's just fine with me.
I mean,
I know what
I,
Zahara
I,
said.
I mean, not on the same team.
Uh,
Come back here and argue about color, and then from there, y'all start to argue about religion and who should get shot and who shouldn't get shot, and if this black guy was right and or that black guy was right. Y'all get so much into the who is right and wrong that y'all start going against each other, like you just did when you tried to shoot me down for my opinion.
You're
I
the
never
one that stated your
wait,
opinion about
wait,
the
wait.
minds of the people in this chat. So you set that
Luton.
up.
I said
Not
overall in the back chat.
you started it.
If you
Wait,
Started it.
Luton.
You started
I
it.
got a
if
question
you
for
apply
Luton.
black
You,
segregation,
Hold
you,
on.
you.
apply
Tom.
segregation
And that's it.
Hold on one second. One
Luton.
second. One second. Hold on. There was a new voice entering. Let's hear what she has to say. KK, go ahead.
Wait, Luton. You said because I just heard what the spy said and what Luton said afterwards. I mean, I have yet to see anybody that's black, blue, white, purple, yellow, green. I never seen that. Only thing that come in those colors are animals and plants and stuff. As far as I know, we are not literally black, and white people are not literally white. And it has nothing to do with quote unquote color, as we may think, or the impression that we're under. It has nothing to do with that. And we could see from past experience that we think that love will cure all and come together and hold in arms. And even Martin Luther King saw how that shit went down. And it was too late. He got killed before he could let black people know that they were going to a burning house. White people could care less about whether or not you want to make alliance with them and work with them and be nice with them and help them and do all these things for them. That doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're going to put their agenda first, which is to survive. That's their agenda. Their mission is to survive, and that means killing you, killing your children, killing your partner, killing your family. I mean, it doesn't matter what you think is right or wrong. In their mind, what's right is surviving. So, you know, um, I don't agree with trying to link arms with other people.
all right,
The way I see it, fuck them. And it has nothing to do with emotions such as hate, because white people clearly don't give a fuck about how you feel at the end of the
No.
day,
One thing I
and they
do
don't
hate
they
though
don't
are
run this shit by
emotions.
that.
I hate
Huh?
emotions. I hate all these emotions. They're it's like we're swimming in a sea of people's feelings. It's disgusting.
Right, like this one black female on G Plus who got tied up, her and this Bam, who got tied up in what I said about Baths not liking to work out. They want to sit there and swim in their emotions, but
Well, a lot of them don't like to work out because of their hair. If their hair is
should I kill my morals though?
what?
what?
Should I sacrifice my morals for what the next man thinks?
You could do what you want, you know. I
I'm
could care
asking you a
less.
question. Like
You could
it's
do
not.
what you want. I answer your question. You could do what you want. I don't dictate what people can and can't do. I don't have that kind of control or power. You do what you want to do.
He dropped
Oh,
out.
he left. Oh, fuck you.
Okay.
Well, that was a side track. We were specifically this salon slash barbershop talk. As much honesty as we could bear was specifically about us. Having honest, constructive, hopefully constructive conversations about our relationships and seeing them from a different perspective. You know, it's been about an hour and 30 minutes though, and I think we'll conclude this one and we'll pick it up at a later time. So I want to appreciate everyone for coming, Angel for calling in, Despise, Arsiresh, KK, Zahara, and myself. Uh, we gonna be out now.